Hey guys, welcome to another simple vlog. I really like having stuff organized, so I'm gonna have a new sub-series. It's called SympoZoom. So it's a wordplay on symposiums where people discuss about different topics, and I have two special guests today and they're going to be sharing their opinions on social media use and taking a break from social media every now and then. What follows is a Zoom call that we just had minutes ago. I hope that you enjoy.
Hi, I'm Julia. Because I have social media and I'm not really active, but I guess I have it, so that qualifies me a little bit. But I always go on social media breaks for a lot of different reasons. Actually, was my classmate ever since grade 11. Well, it's more of on the first day of classes, since we were all new, I was just looking for friends and Sim was there. So I said, fine, I'll make her my friend. But then she is really a great friend.
Hey, I'm Andrew. I'm going to Biola in the fall, ostensibly. So that's how I met Symphony. Social media. I got off 3 summers ago, the summer of 2017. I was never particularly hooked on it in the first place, so I guess it wasn't that much of a change.
Okay, first question. What is your general opinion on social media?
I'm afraid to say something bad because then I might get attacked by social media. But I think social media is a great platform. There are a lot of people who, use social media for their work as well and to earn money in a lot of different ways. But at the same time, it is very scary because a lot of people see you on social media, and the more people who see you, the more, a lot of people don't actually like you. The more, people have opinions, and they really will be very vocal about that, saying, I don't like your voice at all. And it does deflate your self-esteem so much. But I mean, it's okay because at least it's, constructive criticism sometimes, but not always. So social media is great, but then it is still slightly, actually very scary at the same time.
As someone who doesn't use social media, it's probably very important that I preface what I'm about to say with saying first, I don't think social media is inherently evil. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with it. I would probably liken it to sex, actually, and that sex is something good. Sex was created by God, but it's very often misused. You have lust, you have pornography, you have adultery, you have all of these ways in which something good that was created by God is perverted. And in the same way, I think social media is something that can be good, can be bad. And sadly, what I often see is something good that's used in a perverse way. I never spent that much time on it to begin with. I haven't been on it all the time, so I don't have a ton of specific examples and experience. But I guess what I would say is that it seems to make people unhappy from what I've seen. That makes me think that there's something addictive about it, because something that is constantly making people unhappy, there's no reason that they would keep returning to that if there wasn't some addictive quality. And that makes sense. The addictive quality being the endorphin boost, the shot of dopamine you get when you see that, oh, people are liking what I'm doing, I'm popular on the internet, people like me. There's actually there's an actual chemical reaction that happens there, and that isn't inherently bad. The problem is that when you have something like that seems to be addictive, that is making people unhappy by and large, then you have to start to wonder what long-term effect is this having on people. You look at the correlation between the rise of social media and skyrocketing depression rates, especially in the West and in America. So at the end of all of that, I wouldn't say that, oh, you all have to get off social media now, you can't use it anymore. I would say you should be aware of what you're doing, how you're spending your time, how using social media makes you feel, and just think about that rationally, rather than just sort of going through the motions and doing what everyone does because that's what people do. That's what's normal.
The question goes back to Julia. So you use social media every now and then you go on social media breaks. So why do you do that?
I think apart from, of course, we have fasting every start of the year, in the middle of the year. And it's a great opportunity to go on a social media break. But at the same time, I also do social media breaks when I feel like social media gets really overwhelming, because social media is very addictive. And when you scroll through Instagram and everyone has these curated feeds, and then their pictures are so nice, and then it's always a relationship of, oh, I want that. It's kind of toxic. Well, it is actually very toxic. If social media were a person, that would be a person who would always make you feel inferior in so many different ways, saying, oh, you didn't go to Bali, so you're kind of your room is not that nice, so you're not that great of a person. I think the problem is, well, obviously social media really is like that, but also how it affects me, because I let it dictate who I am. If I get sucked into that hole of giving so much importance on my image on social media, if I'm almost there, someone who cares too much about how I portray myself to other people who basically don't even know me personally, who just see me online, that would really make me start to, think maybe I should go on a break, because it is very dangerous when you become that person who just cares about how they look, how their rooms look. I mean, sorry, I love people who have nice rooms. I love you all. I'm not attacking you any, but if you care more about how you look and how people see you, then it is very dangerous. I guess where I'm going is that when I'm almost becoming the person who cares so much about how I look more than what's inside of me, my values, my beliefs and things like that, then it would really actually force me to step back and shut it all out, so that I really focus on things that really matter in life, and not just those other things.
What do you feel whenever you go on these social media breaks, and what do you do?
The first few hours that you go on a social media break, you kind of feel FOMO. You fear that you would miss out on so many things. Oh no, I wouldn't know what Catriona Gray ate for breakfast, things like that, which is really sad to think about it. But you would feel that way. I wouldn't know if some of my friends went out of the country today, or things like that. But then after a while, maybe after 2 days or 3 days, because I usually go on a whole week without social media, then you realize that you're not really missing out on anything. And do you really care about what people eat in a day, or things like that? Do you really care if they go on this fabulous restaurant? And then you realize, no, I don't really care. I just wanted to see it, and then it makes me feel bad. So in a way, it really makes you reflect on how it's been affecting you so much. And honestly, at the end of the day, you won't even miss social media. I mean, there are so many times when I just wanted to deactivate my account, but then I couldn't do it, but I'm almost there. So, you really realize that it's really not that important. And then you feel better overall. Yeah, that's it.
For Andrew, what made you decide not to go on social media anymore 3 summers ago? And how have you been spending your time?
As for why I've continued to stay off social media for the past 3 years, one, this is something that's a little bit unique to me. Maybe not unique to me, but it's something that's not true of everyone, is that I'm not the type of person to have a really wide social circle. I'm not super outgoing. I mean, I am sometimes, but and so if I actually want to be friends with someone, if I actually want to talk to them, then you can get my number. I can talk to you. I can go meet you somewhere. And those are things that I can do. And if I'm not willing to do that, if I'm not actually gonna really be friends with you, and I'm not planning to have a relationship further than just DMing on social media, then I just don't really see a whole lot of value in that personally. And so I feel like that's one of the biggest reasons that a lot of people stay on social media is sort of having a big social circle and meeting new people. I can see the merit in that. It's just not necessarily my style, my way of doing things. And then, so that's more of a personal reason. Aside from that, there's the trope that has been repeated over and over again that I'm sure everyone has heard. What you see on social media is not really ever a real person. What you see on social media is the best moments chopped up out of someone's life. And so that creates a lot of insecurity, it seems, because when you're constantly comparing yourself to other people's social media lives and everyone's doing that, it's like, okay, well, you take the best 5 moments of everyone's week, everyone's month, and that's all you see of a person, and people see that of each other and like, well, my life's not like that. And then the person that you're talking about, they're like, well, my life's not like that. And so it just seems to be a very dangerous sort of feedback loop that happens. And I'm not going to go out and pretend that I'm like some super productive human being who never wastes my time. I was actually talking to someone else about this a couple days ago. I've been spending at least a couple hours for like the last 2 weeks just playing blitz chess. So I don't know if that's any better. I also read quite a bit. I've been spending a lot of time just sitting in my hammock.
In terms of social media, like how can you relate it to faith?
For me, it's a little bit difficult to say something specific to social media because I'm not on social media, obviously. What I see when I either end up spending all of my time watching Netflix or playing chess online, or I may not be on social media, but I still waste quite a bit of time on the internet. When I'm spending my time doing that, as opposed to being out in nature, reading my Bible, praying, very existentially angsty, I guess. That's partially just my personality. Conversely, today is actually a great example. I went out and slept in my hammock in the yard last night. So I woke up at like 6:15 because that's when the sun comes up. So I got up at like 6:15, 6:30, came out and made some hot chocolate, reading Job. Job's really interesting. It's confusing too. Even just that tiny little change of, hey, I'm going to start my day, I'm going to get up early, I'm going to read my Bible, rather than, oh, I'm waking up and going on social media or watching some video for me or playing chess or whatever. It sort of sets your mood for the rest of the day. When you wake up, like when you sleep in and you wake up late and you just waste a bunch of time, you just sort of feel lethargic all day, and you can like force yourself to get out of that, but it's just so much easier if you start your day with something that actually makes you feel alive, rather than, oh, I'm just here to entertain myself.
I think so. I mean, in social media, it's not all scary people. I'm sorry, other people, for calling you scary. But it's not all, people who are very focused on looks and things like that, or fortune and things like that. There are also other people who are very encouraging. But there are a good amount of Christian content creators, and they actually encourage you in many different ways. My favorite is Girl in the Word. I think that's what her name on YouTube is. But I think what I really love about, focusing on content that are, from people like her or Christians in general, is that it also broadens your perspectives on certain issues, because most of the Christian content creators, they really talk about the issues or the societal, the political issues, and et cetera, and it really gives you different perspectives on it. Because I don't know, maybe other Christians, maybe they have a lot of friends who they could talk to and say, hey, what do you feel about all of this mass killing? And hey, what do you feel about the government and how they're going about the pandemic and things like that? Maybe you have friends like that, but I don't really have a lot of friends who would talk to me about that. And having them, it's kind of, I'm talking to them about it and discussing what's happening and digging deep onto the information about what's really going on and things like that. But at the same time, they bring you back to what the Bible says about it. And I think that is really amazing. I mean, if maybe if you're not a Christian and you know stumbled or came across that video, then you know it would help you a lot. But even as a Christian, it also helped me a whole lot to see things in very different perspectives and to really understand things more. So I think that's another great thing, or a great thing about or maybe what social media has also contributed to my faith. But in terms of the general part of social media, I think it's just a great reminder of what really matters. It really makes you think of what truly matters in our life and what we should actually be doing with our life, because then you have some comparisons of this is what I do when I just really focus on social media versus this is what I am actually supposed to do as a human being with purpose and things like that. So I think that's another contribution. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So that was it for another Simple Vlog. Comment below what topic you want us to talk about next, and see you next week.